Welcome to the Booked and Brewed Book Club, the podcast where we enjoy our favorite brews and talk about our favorite books. I'm Alex.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Alina, and we're so happy you wanted to be here today to talk about books with us. Today we're going to be talking about The Housemaid by Freida McFadden.
Yes, we're so excited to talk about this. We're getting ready for spooky season, so what better way than to dive into a thriller? This is a very popular one and personally one of my favorites. So before we begin, what is everyone's current brew and book?
Well, my current brew is a coffee because I am constantly working, so need to fuel up with multiple espresso shots.
Oh my God.
Um, and my book is still Ministry of Time. Haven't been able to make too much headway with it, but it's somewhat intriguing. So hoping to have an update for you guys next time.
Nice.
Okay, I am currently drinking Strawberry Banana Body Armor. These have been my favorite really recently, so I drink them a lot. And I just finished Twisted Kingdom today. I think that's what it's called. No, The Twisted Throne,
Mm.
um, which
What's
is in
that?
the Bridge Kingdom series. It's number 5.
Mm,
So it was actually really, really good. The other four of the books I didn't like, but like the first one was good, but the other three I didn't like, but this one was also really good. And it's a cliffhanger, and the next one doesn't come out until April.
oh,
So I've done this to myself again with
mhm.
an incompleted series. Um, but anyways, I'm also reading We Were Liars, which I just started a couple days ago. Um,
Hey.
Housemaid is watching, which
Okay.
I'm working on. Um, and no, that's it. That's it. Oh
Nice.
no, Gleam, my bad. I'm
Wow.
also still working on that one. I've been jumping back and forth, so
That's
hopefully I'll have something else finished by next week.
fair.
Still working through this slump.
This
That's
slip, you're putting me to shame. My
that's a
God.
lot of books. You're pulling an Amanda right now. It's kind of crazy.
Yes, it's a lot, but I'm on like within 50 pages. Like I've only read about 50 pages of all of them. So
Um,
Gleam, is like 700 pages. The Housemaid is 350.
Right.
We Were Liars is only like 250 or something, but still, I'm
yeah.
not anywhere near done.
Yeah. We Were Liars is like, it's so good. And it's an easy read too. Like you'll get through it pretty quick, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chapters are short, so I think
Yeah.
I'll get
Yeah.
through it
I'm like
easy.
shocked about Bridge Kingdom because literally the first book was so good. And then you were like, the other ones after that aren't that great. So
Yeah,
you have to read a really good book to get through three okay average below average
yeah,
books in order to
yeah.
get to another great book. Like
Jeez.
hmm
I
You're
think
stronger than I
I'm
am.
never picking up that series again.
I was not going to, except that I think I got it like for free on Audible, and I was like,
There.
okay, well,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's how I've been
That's
delving
Mm.
into it.
so valid. So my brew for today is guys, don't judge me. It's my leftover green tea from when I went shopping yesterday at Starbucks.
I really hope it was in the fridge.
No, it was. It 100% was. We came home and I was like, "Ugh, I don't want to finish it, but I don't want to throw it out." And Joe was like, "That's fine. I'll just put it in the fridge for me."
So valid.
Okay,
So
that's better. I can't talk though. I drink day old coffee, room temp.
right.
Oh yeah, I would do that too.
Yeah,
And at least like iced tea is like very common to like keep refrigerated and it lasts a while.
Yeah,
fair enough.
So
that watered down iced
tea sitting
coffee.
out,
Right, yummy.
I don't know, but it's fine. Okay, so I finished The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley yesterday,
Mhm.
2 days ago. I loved it. I thought it was really good. Very thriller vibes. Very good. Then I'm currently listening to The Housemaid's Secret, which I think is the second book.
I loved it. I read that in one day on my travel home from Greece. I
Ooh.
started it on the plane and I finished it on like the long flight. I had the short one, a stopover, and then, the overseas Atlantic flight. I finished it. So good.
Nice. Yeah, I would say that you and like a few other people have convinced me that I need to read the second book.
Hmm.
And I was on Libby. And I was like, I don't know what I want to listen to. Like sometimes I just really need to be in a mood for something.
Yeah, totally get that.
Sometimes it's hard to pick up a new book. And I was like, you know what? Let me listen to this. So I've been listening to it on my car. It's actually really interesting. Like
Hmm.
I'm pretty intrigued. I thought it was just going to be a copy and paste of the first one.
Mm.
And so far it's kind of off to a different start. So we'll
No,
see.
it's so different, so intriguing. I
Okay.
was like, oh my God, this is so interesting.
Okay. I'm excited to finish it. So I will let you know. Um, and then I'm also reading Taming Seven. And in the Boys of Tommen series, it's a slow start, guys. It's I think I'm just like over the whole romance thing right now. And
Mm.
it's very like
Spooky season.
romance. What bothers me too, and we've talked about this with other previous romances on this podcast, I hate when romances are their best friends and they both have feelings for each other and they've been best friends
Yeah.
forever. And they're obviously like, it's guys, it's to the point, and I'm not spoiling anything, but like, they're literally sleeping in the same bed and like they spend every single night sleeping over with each other and like they're cuddling each other, like doing everything a boyfriend girlfriend would do, but they're like not kissing. And they're
There's no
like,
labels. Yeah.
and I'm like, I this book makes me want to just throw it out the window. This is stupid that they are not together, but they're like in denial, obviously. So that's what's I'm like pushing through. It's really hard for me to get through. I'm just trying to barrel through it. And it's honestly one of the shorter books in that series, which I
Mhm.
appreciate. So
Mm.
at 450. It's one of the shorter ones, but it's 450.
My gosh.
So anyway, that's me rambling on about the books I'm reading currently. Sorry, guys. But anyway, let's get into The Housemaid.
Yeah.
All right.
I can do the summary.
Yay!
I was reaching for my mouse and I didn't have it there. Um, okay, so let's just dive into it. So the first part is from Millie's perspective. So we'll start there. Millie, newly released from prison after 10 years, gets a live-in maid job with the wealthy Winchesters. She's given a little tiny attic room with a lock on the outside, a mini fridge, and three little bottles of water. So kind of weird, especially the lock on the outside. And something that I forgot to write in my notes is there are scratch marks on the door on the inside. So that's also really like suspicious. Um, Andrew, which is the husband, appears kind and supportive, while Nina, which is the wife, is volatile, cruel, and inconsistent. Nina humiliates Millie daily, while Cecilia, which is their daughter, but it's really Nina's daughter, not Andrew's. Celia mimics her mother's behavior. Millie learns about Nina's past, where she was in a psychiatric facility and attempted to drown Cecilia. Andrew comforts Millie, and eventually the two sleep together at a Broadway show and Plaza Hotel weekend. Nina discovers the affair and confronts Andrew, and he kicks her out. Andrew also fires Enzo, who is their landscaper and who's kind of hinting that something's off with his family, to Millie. So Enzo warns Millie she's in danger, but she's just like, oh, Nina's gone, so it's fine. After moving closer to Andrew, like moving into the house, Millie wakes up one morning, locked inside of her attic room. And then we switch to Nina's perspective. Nina is now in a hotel and secretly thrilled to be free from Andrew. She has a flashback when she fell in love with Andrew, and then soon after her marriage began, he began locking her in the attic and abusing her. Andrew regularly punished her by locking her in the attic for years for tiny little things like leaving the lights on or letting her roots grow out. Um, Only Enzo believed her. He helped her secretly prepare to escape with Cecilia. Nina devised a plan to make herself unattractive, push Millie into Andrew's path, and let him replace her. So Millie would be the new Nina, and he'd have someone to punish. Once Andrew kicked her out, she reunited with Enzo, but he urged her not to leave Millie behind. So then we go to part three, and this is like the climax. Millie is trapped in the attic, and Andrew forces her to endure cruel punishment. She discovers a hidden camera and Andrew's true sadism. Millie finds pepper spray and a key, which were both secretly planted by Nina. She fights back and sprays Andrew, locks him in the attic, and makes him endure his own torment. Andrew ends up dying in the attic from dehydration, most likely. Nina and Enzo return to the house. Nina covers for Millie, telling her to leave before she's implicated. A sympathetic cop ensures Nina that she won't be charged, hinting that his daughter dated and broke up with Andrew after he showed some crazy tendencies. At Andrew's funeral, his mother hints that she knows what happened, but does nothing. Nina moves to California to start over, and then the epilogue is Millie interviews for another maid job, and the woman reveals Nina recommended her and asks for help, and Millie agrees.
Spooky.
Nice. So good. What did you guys rate this?
I'm afraid to say.
Go for it.
So spoiler alert, I didn't love this book. I read it. It's been a bit, but I don't know. I thought it was good. I thought it was twisty. It was thrillery. It kind of fit that need or that kind of itch for this season. But I just thought it was a bit predictable, so I gave it a 3. So I thought it was good. I'd recommend. Other people seem to really enjoy it. I just don't think it was for me. So for that reason, sharks, I'm out.
That's good. What did you rate it, Melina?
I rated it a 4. I knew something was off with Andrew. I didn't want it to be true.
Mhm.
But obviously I knew something was off because, this is a thriller.
Right.
But I didn't expect exactly how it was going to play out and exactly what had happened. Um, so yeah, I rated it a 4. I very solidly enjoyed it.
Nice. So I, unlike Amanda, really enjoyed this. I did not see the ending coming at all. Um, I was really like shell shocked by how it ended. I wasn't expecting it to be him. Like, I had a feeling, and then I think I was like shocked that she just came out of nowhere and was like, yeah, I just left him in the room to die. Like that threw me for a loop. Like I was not expecting her to be like that sadistic. So for that reason, I gave it a 4.75.
Nice.
I really liked it. Like it was almost a 5 star for me. I think this is my Fable rating. I think if I look at my Goodreads, I probably gave it a 5.
Hmm. Nice. Nice. It's
That's my,
definitely twisty.
it was twisty.
I feel like doing some of our other common um questions for this aren't gonna go as well, like favorite part, least favorite part, and favorite character.
Hmm.
Um, so let's instead do uh when did you think like something was wrong? Like you suspected something, whether it was Nina or Andrew or like whatever, one of the people in the popular not popular, the rich circle, like the PTA people, you know.
Mhm. So I have an initial, like I always have my psychosis is I always try to figure out the puzzle as early as possible. So for thrillers, I always go in very wary as well. So I agree with you, Melina. I caught on early on that he wasn't like the more you paint someone in a thriller that's amazing, who's awesome, who's rose-colored glasses, the more suspicious I am of that character. So I think I knew early on that he wasn't like he was going to end up being some type of bad guy. Didn't know how the puzzle would fit together, but I caught on early on because they were portraying him so early on as this awesome husband that I was like, this doesn't feel right. Um, I thought for Nina, she was always, I didn't necessarily peg that twist that she was trying to replace herself with this poor maid that came in. But I had the feeling, especially the first time she went up into the attic room, where I was like, okay, this doesn't, this isn't copacetic. Like this isn't gonna work. And so I had an inkling that A, she either knew what was going on and she wasn't good and she just let it happen, or B, she had been abused in some way, was up there in that attic, um, and was either complacent to it or the victim. So,
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know how Nina fit in, but I feel like it was pretty obvious that the room was kind of suspicious. Um, and also, yeah, like you said, I was suspicious of Andrew as soon as he was like the perfect person, as he was like, he couldn't do anything wrong. He was
right,
so loyal. He was so sweet, like all that. I was like, okay, so obviously there's something going on with him, but like I really want to like him. I want him to be a good
right,
character. And as for Nina, I was like, something's off with her, but
mm,
it seems too easy for her to be like just playing an act and
right,
to guess that she's like crazy
hmm,
or not crazy and like pretending.
right.
Um, so yeah. Alexandra?
Yeah, I thought that I knew something was up with Nina, like the way she like initially started acting kind of crazy. But to be honest, I thought that it was mainly Nina that was crazy
Mm,
and somehow Enzo was in on it.
mm,
Like I wasn't, and maybe I'm naive and I like to believe the best in people. And I guess it's also hard too when it depends on like the other books you're reading
mhm,
in the surrounding context. Um, so I wasn't expecting it to be the husband, and probably until I don't know. I maybe I was just expecting the husband to want to have an affair with this housemaid after a while, and I just thought that the wife was going crazy over it. But for him to do what he did, I really didn't see it coming until like it actually happened.
Yeah.
Like, guys, it's so bad. It's
You were
Yeah,
reading,
the extent of what happened, I
right.
did not guess.
yeah, like I would never have thought he would have been like the perpetrator. Like I said, I genuinely thought he wasn't great. I knew he seemed like he had a thing for Millie
Mm,
kind of off the bat. Um, but yeah, like I said, I thought it was Millie or Nina and Enzo had something going on, and Millie kind of got in the way of it in a way. I don't know.
yeah.
I just wasn't expecting the twist that it took.
Yeah. She did do I think, a good job of making Enzo like a morally gray side character. You couldn't really determine his motives, if he was creepy, if he was good, if he was trying to be helpful.
Mhm.
So I thought that that supporting character actually added to the narrative rather than sometimes it's ancillary and they detract from it. So,
Yeah.
uh,
I agree that he added a lot, but
mm,
I disagree about like a morally gray character. I think he just portrayed this like suspicious,
mm,
um, kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but the character that is you don't know anything about them
mm,
and you just want to know.
Yeah.
right.
Um,
The
and
mysterious figure.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and I think that was a really big part because you didn't know like, oh, is Enzo going to be this bad guy that's doing something or is it going to be someone else? Like what is his part in this? Why is he like pretending to not know English?
Yep.
Why is he saying like danger? I mean,
Right.
is he, what does he know that you don't?
Yeah.
Right. Good call.
I agree with that.
So, do you want to jump into the book club questions?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. Did your opinion of Millie change throughout the novel? Why or why not?
I would say my opinion of her changed. I mean, Jesus, I didn't think she would be like so okay with like I wasn't expecting what happened at the end to happen. For her to completely just kind of go like survivor girl on the situation. And she would like, I think there was a part, guys, it's been a minute since I read it, but maybe there's a part where she's like eating a bag of chips while she's watching him on her phone or something like that, while he's locked in the room, like begging her. And I was like, whoa. Like, so my opinion of her definitely changed.
Mm.
I thought she was some sweet, innocent girl that was just misunderstood. And then I was like, okay, she's low key, like psychopathic, but in this like anti-hero hero way.
Mm.
Morally gray.
Yeah.
She's definitely morally gray.
She's morally gray, but what's the word I'm looking for? Is it divine justice, where it's someone does something bad in the name of doing of it being
Vigilante.
good? Yeah. Like she kind of gave that vibe. Like it was a vigilante
Mhm.
vibe. Like I'll be the bad guy to save people, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally.
That was crazy. What did you guys would you guys agree, disagree?
Yeah, I would agree. I agree that my opinion of her changed. I feel like I was kind of opposite from you, though, Alex. I thought in the beginning she was a horrid dumb bitch. She was the first time someone would have locked me or accidentally locked me up in that cellar, I would have been PC, you know,
Right.
cartoon dust, rings behind me. So I thought it was so strange and it was hard for me to root for her, I think, early on in the first half of the book because I just really couldn't mentally get behind her kind of headspace and why she decided to stay. And I'm also just, I know we talked about it last episode, I'm also just not one for cheating. So I also didn't love that even if Andrew was great and Nina did suck, that they were kind of getting in the middle of their marriage. I'm not about that, especially with a child in the house. But I love that sick kind of sadistic, twisted kind of mentality. So at the end, when she was eating a bag of chips, watching him and let him die, I was rooting for her. I thought that was the funniest thing in the whole book. I was like, I would have done that same thing and taunted him through the door. I just thought for he got what was coming to him, and I was just so happy that he suffered.
Oh my gosh,
I
I
was
feel like
like, "Go
I'm
girl."
I'm on my own island here. I was like, yeah, he deserved to suffer, but like, did he deserve to die from dehydration? And like, that's a horrible way to die.
No,
Yeah,
Um,
great.
yeah. Um,
You're
I'm
the
like
same.
very like sympathetic to people. I'm not saying he didn't deserve it, and I disagree. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I could go back and forth.
Mm,
Um, but I definitely at first thought Nina was like not Nina. Millie was just like this some girl trying to like mind her own business, go on
mm,
her way. Like maybe she was wrongfully convicted of something. I don't know. Um, and then when you finally like learn more about her and learn why she was in jail and like who she is and that she left Andrew in that closet for who even knows how long, I I was like, "Oh, okay. So she's actually like kind of crazy." Like
right.
she's not crazy like she's gonna go and kill someone randomly, but she's like, you did this shit to me, so now I'm gonna do it to you. But I'm
Mm,
gonna do it back 10 times worse.
right.
yes. It's almost like that's why I think she's like a psychopath or
Mm,
you know what I can't remember the sociopath versus psychopath, but she's the one where it's very she almost feels no emotion towards
mm,
things
Yeah.
in that regard. Like for me, did I think he deserved it? Yeah, but would I have like been able to just sit there and eat food while this man is suffering on the other? I would be terrified that he would find a way to break out. Like
Yeah.
I
yeah.
don't know. She was just so chill about it and blasé.
Hmm.
Again, it makes me think that she's not all there.
Right. Right. No, I agree. I forgot about I forgot the kind of ambiguity of her first sentence. And you're right, when she comes out and the book starts, she's a very sympathetic character. She was wrongfully convicted, and that's kind of the narrative she's touting. And at the end, it does really throw doubt onto that initial sentencing. And you think to yourself, okay, this girl is crazy. She probably did do it the first time, but
Hmm.
Do I still think he deserved it? Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was thinking maybe she regrets what she did. She was, 17.
Right.
And then the more you hear about like what she did and why, and you're like, oh no, she really doesn't regret this and she would do it again.
Right. Right.
Yeah. It's like crazy. And then I would also say the part where Andrew dies and like, is it there his funeral or something? And his mom is like, he deserved it.
I know, that was crazy.
Oh,
That made me think that she was doing that to him.
oh, 100%.
Yeah.
They
That's
allude to that,
implied.
I think, at one point
Yeah.
where I think maybe he mentions it. If the lights are on, then he has to go without light for however long.
Hmm.
Dinner.
Oh yeah. Yeah, maybe.
And if he leaves the water running, then maybe he doesn't get water. Like something like that. Like it's very
Hmm.
extreme situation. Also, okay, just remembered like the fact that this man made her put those heavy textbooks on her stomach. And
Yeah.
her savage response was, "Oh, put them on your junk." For like 3 hours.
That was actually like 7 hours.
Yeah, yeah. And she was like, "Sorry, you're not done."
Sorry, I didn't see it.
Love it.
That was twisted. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
That
we talked a lot about Millie. How did our opinion of Nina change throughout the book?
I didn't mind her. I get where she's coming from. And I first I hated her because I think you were made to hate her, right? That was kind of the whole narrative. And then I ended up, you know, tolerating her towards the end. I understand her situation was pretty bad, but I think where she differs from Millie is that Millie has that vigilante thing where she wants to do right by women in some
Mm,
regard and like and I think it was kind of, you saw that Nina was the exact opposite in that way. She was very selfish and just trying to get herself out and didn't care if Millie was put in that situation
mhm,
and was ready to leave her in that. So I didn't love that, but at the same time, like when you're in that like fight or flight mode and you're living in a situation where you don't know if you could die tomorrow or your kid could be in a situation where you could be separated from your child. I think that's like forgivable, but I don't know. That was kind of my 2 cents.
Yeah. Yeah, at first I definitely didn't like her, but you know, as you said, it's kind of I think what was expected. And when it was like the first sentence of the next chapter, like of the next part, and it was like, thank God I got away or something. I was like, oh no, I don't want to like her. I don't want to sympathize with her.
mhm,
And then you learn more and more about her story,
mhm,
and you just have to sympathize because she's a victim
mhm,
and she was doing what she had to get away. And do I agree that she wanted to put someone else in that situation to free herself? No, because she didn't have a plan to get Millie out. She didn't really care. But I understand because I mean, she had been suffering for I don't know how long they had been married, but a really long time.
mhm.
And she was worried about her child too. So I I came to respect her, but not completely understand her. And I think that also comes from like not being a mother.
Mm,
And I know what my mom would say when you have a kid, everything is different, and you can easily look at something and sympathize with a mom for doing whatever it takes to save their kid, but I definitely couldn't. So maybe that has something to do with it.
yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree. I think that opening kind of the hood and getting the backstory for what she suffered and her fear for her daughter and everything like that just makes total sense. I agree. I don't think she was an entirely likable character, but I think she was a pretty complex one. So I respected, I think, her character and the tough choice she was in. I don't know if I would have like sacrificed someone else to get myself out, but I can understand why she would, especially thinking of her daughter, and she saw it as the only way out. So when you're kind of backed into that corner and it's fight or flight, you're going to do whatever you can to kind of survive. Um, and then, even though she wasn't really going to come back for Millie, it did kind of work out in the end. So you can almost forgive her for the route it took to get there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, by the end of it, I didn't really hate her as much as I thought I would going into it. So I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Right.
Mhm.
Now, should we move on to Andrew?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about Andrew.
No, I know we kind of covered it earlier, but when did we, I guess, know for sure he wasn't the perfect husband? I think for me, I'd said it was fairly early on because it was a little too good to be true, but
Yeah, that's what I suspected, but
yeah.
definitely didn't know for sure until he locked her in the closet or room, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was a good husband. Probably like towards the beginning, I had a feeling, and it was again mainly because I thought he was gonna have an affair with Millie. He had a
Mm.
thing for Millie because his wife was crazy. And
Mhm.
that was my thought process. Now, when did I think that he was a psychopath?
Like late,
Probably
late.
like you said when he just happened to lock Millie in the closet and you had no context to that until after the fact. I didn't
Yeah.
think there were any. I'm curious to know if I were to go back and reread the book, if I would pick up on some small signs that might indicate it. But reading it through the first time, I did not pick up anything. But I'm also like a rose-colored glasses type of girl, so I miss out on a lot.
I need to turn my light on.
No, no.
What about you, Amanda? You agree, disagree? Thoughts, feelings, emotions?
Yeah, like I said, I think I knew early on.
Oh yeah.
Didn't have the puzzle pieces would fit, but
Yeah.
definitely thought he was gonna be a bad guy at some point. So
They're always the bad guy. And like I've noticed that that's a very similar trait in other Freida McFadden books too. That the nicest person is typically like the craziest.
yeah,
I
But
feel like it's pretty common in like thrillers and stuff.
yeah.
no, I mean, all right, we talked about the silent patient. Let's compare it to the silent patient in that regard. Because I would say we kind of knew from the beginning that Theo had weird tendencies. We knew, right? Like he was kind of the catalyst that led to what was her name? Her downfall.
Yeah. Well, but I would say kind of in review to that, we didn't know how it was gonna kind of end up, right? We didn't know the path it would take to get there, but he was portrayed early on as this kind of savior helping her.
Yeah.
So again, like I'm more surprised, more impressed when the kind of innocent character stays innocent through the end or dies off or something like that. And you have this like sneaky kind of side character who comes in and becomes kind of the big bad villain.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, they're when quick thrillers like this is such a quick, easy read.
Yeah.
Not always trying to trick you, so it's kind of just nice to also
Yeah.
get into it
Mhm.
early.
Yeah, it's definitely not like an every book thing, or every thriller or whatever that has this character that's like perfect, and then they come out and they're obviously not perfect and they're like the bad guy. But I feel like it is pretty common, like it's a pretty common thing to see. Um, and
Yeah.
He, that's why I kind of guessed that something was off with him. Um,
Oh,
yeah, I don't know what else I could compare it to other than other um Freida McFadden books.
but would you guys have been shocked if it was like Enzo or Nina in that regard? Like, or would you have needed to have like a super side character come in out of nowhere? Maybe the grandma, right? Like,
Mhm.
what
Yeah.
type of scenario would you need for you to be fully shocked and not expect the perfect husband? I would say.
There was some friend of Nina's. I know there were a couple of other PTA people, but
Mm,
there was like one friend in particular, I think that Millie was talking to. I think it was the one that told Millie about like the psychiatric stuff,
Mm,
and Nina's history with that. And I was kind of expecting something more from her.
mm. I would have been surprised if it was the kid.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, low key too.
It turns into like a full like Satan's child.
Right.
Yeah,
Like the orphan, the movie The Orphan
right,
or something like
right.
that.
Would have been like, okay, like she's the one torturing the nanny, her nanny.
Right.
So that would have
No,
been
there's
a
actually
fun.
some book I read that was it was the kid, and I was like, this is horrible.
Yeah. Too much.
Those are like
Yeah.
almost more, those are creepy to me, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I'm losing my voice. Those are creepier to me.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
Yeah. I agree with that statement. So all right, let's talk about Enzo. What did you guys think of his choices? Did you think he did enough to help Nina and Millie?
Um, Actually, I don't know. Amanda, do you want to go?
Yeah, I thought he did what he could. I think in hindsight, you always find holes and you think that he can do more, but he was such a dispensable character for the Winchesters, right? He was just the help, for lack of a better kind of term. And he was trying to, I think, maintain his job security and maybe stay there to be of service and help, but didn't want to push it too far where he probably put his own livelihood in jeopardy or, lost that position where he would be able to help. So looking back to it, I think he could probably do a bit more, yes, but if he had come out early on to Millie, would you have believed him as a character? Probably not. And then you always look back and find opportunities, right? And in reality, it doesn't always net out.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I can see from that perspective. I think you're right, Amanda. He was very limited in what he could do in a way. And I think in his mind, he was trying to help as best as he could. But I also think the story doesn't revolve around him. Like,
Right,
he's not the savior. That
right.
wasn't what his role was supposed to be. So
Yeah,
I think for the part he played, it was fine. It was good.
yeah. That Barbie's job is helper. So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So let's move on to the next question. The novel plays heavily with appearance versus reality. Who did you misjudge the most and why? I feel like this is a really interesting question. And there are like, three main characters, but I feel like any of them can be a valid answer.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I'm having trouble figuring out, I think mentally, which one I think I misjudged the most, though. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I
hmm,
think for me, it was Nina
hmm,
because I never expected her to be a victim. I kind of expected that there was something off with um Andrew,
hmm,
but I didn't know if that had anything to do with Nina, if she was, a catalyst or whatever.
hmm.
But I definitely didn't expect her to be a victim of Andrew and that she's actually this like decent person. And we don't really get a lot of who she is, just like her trauma and her getting out of it. Um, but I definitely misjudged her the most because I kind of suspected that Andrew was um kind of off, and Millie, you could tell that she had a dark history
Yeah.
because it hints at whatever she was in jail. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a it's a good way to frame it too, because at first Nina seems very surface level, and then when you realize the depth of brutality that Andrew like put her through, it's pretty impressive that she was able to maintain kind of a level of composure and class, right? And play that public persona, I think, really well when you got even a small peek under the hood. It was like, wow, like this girl's been through it. It's a miracle she gets up in the morning.
Yeah.
Um, for devil's advocate's sake, I'll say I think Andrew, like while you knew he wasn't good, his outward appearance is really, really kind of like dad next door, right? He's a great guy, he's a great dad, he's successful. And so I think he does a very, very, very good job of really putting on that outward facing persona or wearing that hat, and then it's just a complete almost like code switch and in the house where he's this monster with no feeling and a bit of a sadistic streak. So while I wasn't surprised, I thought that his ability to really flip between those two personalities, and the way that Freida McFadden portrayed it, I think was really well done.
Yeah. I mean, I can see where you both are coming from. So I'm gonna go the third route here. And I'm gonna say Millie because in my opinion, and I'm not just saying this just so that we all have different answers. No, I genuinely think it was like Millie, in my opinion, because she tried really hard to move past her past. Like to start fresh, to move over, like to start on a new foot. And I think that you kind of see her really trying to almost change the person she used to be throughout the entire novel. Um, so I think then by the end of the book, you really saw her true colors. Like you really saw who she was. And I was rooting for her in the sense that like I wanted her to change. I didn't really know what she did. Like you did hear about it eventually, but I was like, oh, people change. Like she wants to do good, like turn over a new leaf. And
Mhm.
then for her to kind of end up back in a very similar situation, like, similar situations to what got her into this, state of poverty and whatever that she started out as. Um, I really misjudged her. I was like, oh, I guess we're not changing. This is not a book about a change, coming of age story. This is definitely let the cycle continue sort of thing.
This is not a redemption arc.
Right. We're not redeeming here.
No, that's so true. And it kind of begs the question too, do you think that Millie's criminal past made her kind of a better person to deal with and kind of do away with Andrew? Or do you think it put her more in a risky position?
I think it made her a better candidate to deal with Andrew because she'd done it once before. And obviously she didn't feel guilty about it. I'm not sure if it's really if Nina really would have been able to tell that from picking her, but obviously we know from being inside her head that she doesn't feel guilty about it and she would do it again. Um, so that I was just like she was the right person because in the end, Nina was picking someone to kill her husband. So
Essentially.
True.
yeah.
Yeah. Because I think there's a point in the story where she does say to Millie that that's why she picked her. Or she says it to Enzo
Mhm.
or something that
Yeah.
she ran her background check and was like,
Right.
I want this girl. Criminal
Yeah.
record, sign me up.
Red flags hired.
Right.
Yeah.
Usually you run for the hills, but she was like, no, no, no. Let me bring this criminal into my house around my
Right, like
house.
who better to choose to kill her abusive husband than a criminal who's at rock bottom?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
Yeah, I think from Nina's perspective, Millie's criminal past made her the best candidate. But I think from Millie's perspective, it really put her at risk because you have that criminal history, you have that record. A suspicious, weird death happens at your place of work, they're immediately going to go to you, right? Like you're, you know, on sub number one, right? You're the first suspect on the list. So
Yeah.
I think if I was Millie's, in Millie's mind, I'd be like, okay, risky business. Don't want any part of this.
Right.
You're right. For Nina, she was perfect.
Yeah, agreed. I think it was, I don't know, it was interesting, I would say,
Mhm.
that whole reasoning behind it.
Yeah. Talking through it makes me like it almost more. Maybe I need to give it more of a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Just saying, I gave it a 5 and I'm a hard 5 grader,
I
guys.
wouldn't give it a five. I, I'm very easy with the fives. I wouldn't give
Oh,
it a
you are easy with the 5s.
Yeah, which is surprising why I didn't. But yeah, I don't know. This book didn't grab me as much, but it was twisty. It was fun twisty because you
It
kind of
was fun. Just
Mhm.
yes, I did agree with that. Did you guys want to do another question?
Amanda, do you want to pick?
yeah. I mean, do you want to do 13 and 14, or do you want to just do?
Mm, let's do.
I can do if these are the last two. I can do both. I just have to get back to work. So
I'm
Okay.
I'm good to do like 13. I mean, if you guys want to do 14 as well, because it, it talks about the next book, so we can kind of allude to it if you want. But
yeah, maybe we could rephrase it too. There is a second book and a third. Would we read it? Right.
sure. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, do that.
Right.
What do you guys think happens to Nina after moving to California? Does she finally get peace or is her trauma too deep?
I hope she gets peace, but I don't think she'll ever truly be at peace.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. A lot of therapy in that girl's future.
Hmm.
But I do wish her the best just from understanding her history, but I think it'll take a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm very much a believer you can't run from your problems
Yeah.
Hmm.
and you can't run from your trauma. You know what? I think being in California, change of scene can help to
Mm.
a very strong extent, but you can't just pick up a new life and forget your old one like that. And
Hmm.
even if she was able to, the trauma her daughter probably endured as well
Right?
is
Oh,
going to be so long lasting that I don't even think she could move on from it because of that.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And those are formative years of that girl's life, right?
Right.
And makes you wonder, is it nature versus nurture? Does she have a little bit of that crazy sauce too? You
I
know?
know. That's I mean, like the whole thing, like she's probably so traumatized, never will have another kid after the whole thing where she had just had a kid. And
Yeah.
then he drugs her, puts her in the bathtub, or no, drugs her, puts the baby in the bathtub.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I
And
forgot about
then
that.
she ends up going to the like she
Thinking that she's crazy.
Right.
crazy and getting everyone else to believe that that's the scariest part for me, I think, about this book is how well he was able to convince other people that she was the
Yeah.
crazy one.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he was
It's
really good at covering up.
Hmm.
it's so frightening. That's like my biggest, like realistic fear, like phobia, sure, but loss of control as a control freak, and it's like being wrongfully accused. You know
Hmm.
in your bones that you're not crazy, that you're innocent, and you just can't convince anyone that that's true. And then you start to second guess yourself.
Okay. I have one more question.
Go for it.
Was there any point, like during Nina's story, when she gets sent to the mental hospital, was there any point in that time when you believed that she'd had a hallucination and it hadn't actually happened? Because imagine that plot twist.
Right. Oh, that would have been so good. That would have been so much
I know,
better.
because I actually started to believe it,
Right.
honestly.
Right.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
Yeah.
That would have really been so backwards if that was the case.
Yeah,
I would
how that would
have
have worked out, I don't know, but
Like I almost wish she did that.
right. It would have
I
been a
know.
five-star read. But I agree with you. I think she did such a good job in the middle point of that book and
Mhm.
when it switched over into hers. If she had held out even a third of the book longer, I mean, you would have been totally on Andrew's side. And
Mhm.
spoiler alert, this is kind of similar. It reminds me to Verity. Like you're just not sure kind of
Yes.
Mhm.
here, right? And again, I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't like read it.
We
Alex,
need
I know
an
you have.
episode on it. We need, Melina, you need
But
to read
it's
Mary.
good. It's just really
It's
twisty.
coming, it's coming.
No,
Guys,
but I agree. That would have been
two podcasts.
such a good, that would have been like a true psychological kind of
Mm.
thriller.
Because I can't say it because Melina hasn't read it.
No, yeah. No, we'll speak in the context of this book. It would have been,
Ah, but like I do think that the like you said, like if we kept the delusion going, I think it would have left a lot of readers being like, what did I just read? Who was right? Who was wrong? Like who like you it was left up to the readers to make the decision versus the book telling them. But I kind of love when that happens in a book where you as a reader, I love it and I hate it. Because I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't want to make this decision. Like what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't I
yeah.
want to know the answer, but it
Mhm.
draws such strong emotion that I love it so much because of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But that's just my 2 cents.
No, I'm just like reimagining this book with that twist, and it sits so much better with me. It really does.
Mhm.
Frida, if you see this, chances are very low. But if you do and you want to write another book, please consider
Consult
making
us.
a very, what is it, ambiguous ending? Like
Yeah.
very open-ended.
Reader's
Yeah.
choice. Yeah.
Reader's choice ending is the best.
Both
I
love
get
and
a
hate.
lot of hate for that, but it comes with a lot of love as well.
Yeah.
So
Okay, and would we want to read a sequel from Millie's perspective?
Speaking of endings.
And because we know there are two other books, so did this make you want to read more about her?
Mm.
I would say yeah, I wanted to
Mm.
read more. Um, I really liked the idea of it. I mean, like it was so good, so I just kept going. But
Yeah, me too.
Have you guys read the other books or the sequels?
I
mm,
read the second one and I'm on the third one.
I'm
Okay.
like about like 10 to 15% into the second one.
Okay. Interesting. I feel like I just didn't love this one enough to pick it up. I also like I love a good standalone thriller. I think when you get into like interconnected thrillers, it just starts to lean really like James Patterson-y, like dad kind of books. And I know that's not remotely in the same kind of wheelhouse, but
Yeah.
I just thought it was a bit cliched of an ending that they left it up to kind of like a series. I just thought it took away from the story, where a thriller, I really just, I think, prefer a really solid standalone
Yeah.
rather than just leave it open for, you know.
I will
Yeah.
say that was my thought process as well.
Mhm.
But
But I'm gonna be so honest, Alexandra, do you want to go first?
no, 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 go ahead. I'm curious to hear what you say.
Um, I did not think that this was like a trilogy. It was like a follow-up. It was literally another individual book. And honestly, I thought the second one was even more shocking than the first.
Hmm,
I've heard
Not
good things
necessarily
about
liked it more, but it was more shocking. I was just so surprised with what happened that I, and it doesn't even mention the first book. Like there's a vague mention like once or twice,
interesting.
but it's not like a continuation. It's a completely different story
Hmm,
with a couple of characters that you know.
interesting.
it. Yeah. Like to give context, it takes place probably about 4 years after this book.
Hmm.
And like it's a whole different, it's almost like it's its own different story. And again, I just started listening to it, and it seems like I wouldn't even had to have read the first one to read this one.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it alludes to like some characters in the past, but it's almost like it's so ancillary. It's not
Hmm.
Hmm.
anything.
I feel like I'd have such a hard time separating what I know about Millie in the first one, though, from the second. So maybe it just provides an added layer of complexity. But I'm not saying never. It's definitely kind of thriller, spooky season now. I'm really kind of getting away from my romances, or at least my like rom-com romances.
Yeah.
I'll add it to the docket, but I am reading a good thriller right now. Actually, now that I forgot to mention it, uh, it's called Kill Your Darlings. It's by Peter Swanson, and I like his books. So, yeah, a good quick thriller. Freida McFadden, though, is quick with it. It's such an easy read.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has a lot of good books. I read The Tenant by her and The Boyfriend, and those were kind of crazy.
Hmm.
I read The Teacher, which I loved, and then Dead Med, which actually it gets like not as good reviews, but I loved it.
Hmm.
Hmm.
It's different perspectives, and each perspective gets even crazier than the last.
Oh,
You're like, oh my God, this person is actually insane. And the next person, you're like, whoa,
Yes.
that like they weren't insane. This person is the insane one. It's crazy.
Oh, I
okay.
feel like I'd like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm adding that to my TBR, and I
It
also
was really good.
on
Amanda's got a
Kindle.
long TBR just from us.
I really do. It's always growing. A.R. Torr is one of my favorite thriller authors too. She's on Kindle Limited, like Freida McFadden.
Nice.
I've loved every book of hers I've read. She does really good one, like The Fatal Affair, set in Hollywood. The most twisted one is like I think it's called The Perfect Touch, or The Good Lie. Excuse me, The Good
Hmm.
Lie. Very, very good.
All right, we'll have to check it out. Add that to my
Yeah.
TBR.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Growing faster than I can read, but that's okay.
I know it's such a struggle. Um,
Yeah.
okay, ladies. Well, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Next week, I believe we are reading. What are we covering next week, ladies? Do we remember?
I think it was Binding 13,
Yeah, so next week we are
part one,
covering,
maybe.
yes, we are covering Binding 13. We're doing a part one and a part two for the next couple weeks. Amanda, I don't think you've read Binding 13. I don't know if you're going to be joining us on next week's podcast.
I probably won't be, but if I can miraculously read it in time, I will. Maybe I'll tap my sister to jump in.
There you go. Miraculously read a 700-page book with me. You
Listen,
did.
if I'm not participating, I'm for sure watching, ladies. So I'll be there in spirit.
Love the support. But yes, we are going into that fall season, so we're gonna do Binding 13. But that being said, if you guys really like this episode, please make sure to leave a review. Also, if there's a specific book or topic you want us to talk about, please DM us. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok a lot. Just leave a comment here on our channel, and we're more than happy to read the book. It may not be immediately, but I would say within the next couple of months, we will definitely be doing a book review on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So if you like this episode, then definitely like, comment, and subscribe to our show. And thanks for being with us today.
Until next time, book besties.
See you later.